Hey everybody. Before I get started with my freestyle, I wanted to talk to everybody about Ethel. I'm sure you've all seen her starvation story and where she's come from. I thought I'd come clean with you what I did have planned for this weekend with her. And that was not to ride her. We had she's been very explosive, and I'm sure you could see from the ride that I had on her that she was tight. I was like riding 6 or 7 sticks of dynamite. And I think she's done for the day. I was going to do a reining pattern, a freestyle reining pattern on her, but I think it's more important for me to take care of her than to push her that far. So a couple things I just want to bring. I made some notes because I'm a little bit nervous, and I don't know if I'm hot in here or having a hot flash.
It's hot.
So you know, she's got such trauma to her. The horse has such trauma to her, not only physically from the starvation. And any of you have looked at her left side. She's got 6 or 7 scars that will have no hair ever grow back on them. They're very, very deep scars that we can see. Imagine how deep her scars are mentally. They go as deep as these wounds on her skin that will not heal. And we went through a lot of trials and tribulations together. She's taught me a lot. She's brought me to a lot of great people. We've had nutritionalists evaluate her. Merrill Company sent me Gastrogard to help her. Southern States Co-op sent me Gastrotech for her tummy. I mean, she's really had a struggle adjusting to work. Now, having said that, I also want to make sure you understand there's a lot of balance with that. Ethel and I spent a lot of time just like this. And I hope you could see that in our in-hand presentation. When I'm on the ground with her, she's very connected to me. Did you guys notice when I got off for the, well, first of all, when I was riding her, she was tight. She was like, holy mackerel, where's my leader? She just couldn't get that transition in this environment. Now, if you look at my booth, I've got beautiful video of her doing her reining pattern on tape. But in here, it was just too much for her. Did you notice when I got off of her with the mattress, the change in her body? Yes. She just went, ooh, I knew you were here somewhere. And that's why I've chosen not to ride her in her reining pattern. So what I'd like to do, though, is I like to do in hand with her. We've got some other stuff that we can do. It's real pretty. And hopefully she's got a little bit more in her for me to show you. What do we do with a horse that might not be safe to ride? Do we give them away? Do we sell them and make them someone else's problem? What do we just make them a pasture ornament and hopefully they don't come back as a starvation case again? There's no human that's a throwaway and there's no horse that's a throwaway. And it would be my recommendation that this mare go into some kind of a therapy program for either inner city children where they do no riding, it's all therapy on the ground. I have a good friend of mine here, Stephanie Sarah. Can you stand up with me for me, Stephanie? I know you're here. Stephanie is with the Lone Survivor Foundation. If any of you have seen the movie Lone Survivor, the Marcus Luttrell story, they work with soldiers that have PTSD, and it's all in hand and on the ground with these horses. Wouldn't it be an amazing story that a horse that was so traumatized to help humans that were so traumatized and be of service to each other? So just because I'm not choosing to ride her, please don't think she's worthless. She's got, just like GERL said, an amazing heart and a lot of tribe, but there's some gaps there. She had a panic attack with me. I was riding with Peaches and Elena. We were in Calhoun, Georgia. We had done fire obstacles, smoke flares, tarps, bridges. 3 hours into it, we were just like this, walking around the arena, head down, nothing was going on. And she broke in 2. Now, I've been bucked off once or twice. And this was an event like I have never experienced. It was violent. She crashed us into the fence, I ended up hanging by my right ankle from the fence. She ripped up her knee, and then she kept going, bucking and bellowing until she crashed into a herd of horses. So it wasn't like she bucked me off and said, "You spurred me," or, "I didn't like that." She gapped. She had a loss there. And I found that a lot with her. I called it when I was working with her, and I talked to Cece or Patty or Tama. I called it like panic attacks. And if you know anyone that's had trauma in their life, you can't help those panic attacks, can you? You can wish them away, but they happen. I know all of you have probably heard stories of soldiers that wake up in the middle of the night with their hands around their wives' throats because they think they're still at war. I really believe that's how traumatized this mare is. And she gave me everything she had, but sometimes there's just a gap there. So with that, I'm going to do this little in-hand with her because I just think riding's just going to be too much for her. And if you will indulge me with my freestyle music, we'll do a little thing here.